Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to the opener of Battlefield Pro Wrestling Week. This is the Rumble for Battlefield Pro Wrestling. They're based out of in Pennsylvania. I have a gentleman that will make you love professional wrestling on the independent scene so much better. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to my guest today. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside.
What's going on, Big Joe?
Not much, man. Internationally known, rolling around here. So if my internationally known audience, especially if my fans from the UK countries and across the seas, if they're not familiar with you, introduce yourself.
I am the thoroughbred Terry Adonis, best of the best, cream of the crop, the next big thing in professional wrestling, doing it big on the indie scene with Battlefield Pro Wrestling.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it like to be trained under a coach like Alpha Junior? Is it do you ever sit back and just pinch yourself and realize you're training under wrestling lore, like a family member that's had the learning under the learning tree of the Anawahi family? What does that feel like?
When I do certainly, there's times where, me and my bud who also goes to Battlefield, we'll look back and we'll be like, yo, we're being trained by the NYs, knowing the legacy, the prestige that family has. And Alpha's great. I mean, from the first day that I met him, he saw something in me that I didn't really see in myself at first. And he's done nothing but, hold me to a high standard and, always keep best interest in mind. So it really is great to have, someone like that, someone with that kind of credibility, back in your name and, training under him. So I wouldn't trade it for anywhere else. Seriously. He's really awesome. He's really the best.
So when you first stepped foot in the facility, did you know this wrestling business was for you, or did you already have a thought in your process? Did you plan it already out? You're like, I'm going to do this.
So ironically, yeah, the first time I stepped in a Battlefield, I knew I wanted to wrestle. It was actually the first time I heard of Battlefield. I knew it was a school that's about 30 minutes away. Yeah. I live in the Lehigh Valley, so it's about 30 minutes away from me. And the first time I went there to one of their student shows, I instantly knew just by the atmosphere, the vibe of the wrestlers that came out, just, kind of the audience. I was like, this is a place that I need to be. This is a place that I need to train and learn from and grow with. And from there, it was history. Once I met Alpha, it was almost, pen to paper in terms of signing up and getting in the ring and getting active.
Wow. So do you remember the first match you ever did, or is it still is it hazy?
No, first match I ever had was, dang, I can remember it down to the date.
Okay.
July 9th, 2023. I've only been wrestling for about a year and a half. July 9th, 2023. My first match was against Sam Adams, and it was a match I'll never forget. I mean, he's ever the vet. I mean, he's taught me a lot in this business. He's helped me, every step along the way, and to be able to get in there and lock it up with him, it was really special. So, like I said, it's always something that I'll remember. Something that I look back at and just be like, dang, we did that. That was, already almost a year and a half ago. So it's that's definitely one of the great memories I'll have, the great moments I'll have in wrestling. That first match with Sam Adams.
Wow. Sam Adams. Good old Sam Adams.
Yeah, good old Sam Adams, man. He's been everywhere. So, yeah. Like I said, it was nice to lock it up with him.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Vinny? Welcome. One of my big time fans, Mr. Vinny. Vincenzo.
There he is.
Mr. Vinny. Love that Hawaiian shirt. So did you have gear yet when you had on that match against Sam Adams, or did you have didn't have gear yet?
No, so yeah, so I had gear. Alpha, especially as you begin to progress and there's a showing of, okay, this person, definitely is ready to step in the ring. Alpha begins to, tell you the importance of getting gear, your look and your image, and especially that first image, because, first impressions mean everything. How do you want the crowd to see you? It's very important that you put that kind of detail of your personality and kind of who you are into that gear. So yeah, I had gear, and it was good. It was nice to have, that gear before you step in the ring, because then you're not worried about, it over time and before actually making that first appearance. So yeah, I had gear, and I still wear it to this day. I still wear it sometimes to this day. So
I've interviewed like tons of wrestlers, and I've asked that question, and some of them didn't even have gear. They weren't ready. They didn't have the gear ready yet. They were wearing like basketball shorts.
yeah,
And they bought boots, and they had the boots in the car, and they just had shorts and a tank top. I'm like, that's rough.
yeah, no, that's the importance of Battlefield. Alpha prepares you for things like that, in terms of like he won't put you in a position that he feels you're not ready for. So like I said, he really harped on, hey, make sure you get gear, make sure you start to think about that stuff now, especially in those earlier days.
So with your wrestling career, do you have like a set like schedule that you put together for your like workouts, or do you have everything all like set up already that you know what days you want to do working out, days you do this, train and stuff like that?
So it really just depends on the day, like the days that I'm training. Usually at Battlefield, we train Tuesday and Friday. So those days, I won't work out in terms of like going to the gym. I work out then, at Battlefield, at wrestling, at training. But like days that I don't have wrestling, I'll make sure to go to the gym in the morning, make sure to have majority of my meals scheduled throughout the day in terms of when I want to eat. It just all depends on the day in terms of what I'm doing that day. Are we training, or is it just a day where we're watching film, opening a notebook, studying things like that? So it, like I said, it all just depends. It really does. But there's always got to be each and every day where I, put in time to, like I said, whether it's the film, whether it's working out, that I dedicate to wrestling, to growing, to, advancing my knowledge and things like that. So wrestling's always in the 7-day week period, no doubt.
Do you ever like go and like watch footage? Like when you find out who you're like, when wrestlers find out their match, do you ever go and do like a little stalky and go on the person's Instagram or go on YouTube and just say blah 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 and look the name up and try to watch the match and see how they move around the ring and stuff like that?
Always. I mean, that's definitely what the film aspect is. I mean, you find out who you're wrestling, you just kind of want to see, how, like you said, how they move in the ring, some of their mannerisms, take away some of their characteristics, maybe you find different ways to counter certain moves. That's really how you continue to grow as a wrestler. I mean, you gotta make sure you watch film, study yourself, study the people you're working with, study some of the great people that you look after. So that's definitely one of the big parts of this wrestling life. One of the parts that I really like. I do.
It's crazy to think that like I'm 41, and back in my day, if you were a wrestler, you really had to go the dirt sheets and go get those tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a lot harder back then to get film. Yeah.
So, you guys have it easy these days.
Yeah, we can just go on YouTube, something like that. Like you said, go on Instagram. So yeah, I do think about that in terms of those early days where you had to get some dirt sheets, get some tapes, things like that. And
after you got tapes, we need a tape. Who got this guy? He's from Florida. We need a tape.
Think about it. That's how it had to be. You had to look at your resources just to find some tape on a guy.
Yeah, I still have tapes from like there's a wrestler that I was a huge fan of. He's a good guy. I still talk from here to there. Damian Dragon. I remember I still have the tape. I bought a cassette tape from him at his merch table.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because back in those days, a lot of wrestlers couldn't afford to just get blank tapes, and he taped over The Spy Who Shagged Me.
You taped over what?
He taped over The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Oh,
like Austin Powers, and I was like, Damian, dude, you taped over Austin Powers?
Like, that's how it had to be some of those times, though.
Yeah.
No, that's
it's so funny. I was like, oh my gosh. So, we're here to represent the Battlefield Rumble. So you're in a match.
Yeah.
On that Sunday in a tag match, and now if you haven't been everybody has been on Instagram. Your partner, your opponent, one of your opponents, he he's down. So
Yeah.
you think this match? What are you looking into, man? Do you think it's just going to be a handicap match, or do you think you?
I mean, first things first, going to show off the closer. I know we've had our differences, but injuries like that, you always hate to see him, especially because regardless, he is a tremendous worker, tremendous professional. So, hopefully a speedy recovery on him. My hats off to him, my loves to him. So, but in terms of the match, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Vinnie Mac's been a thorn in my side for a few months. I've been waiting to get my hands on him. Regardless of what happens, as long as I get my hands on him, it could be a triple threat. It could be a 2-on-1. It could be whatever. Like, it could be a singles match, like whatever. Like, as long as I get my hands on him, that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me.
And it's also your partner, RJ. Like, oh, you think you come out and you're like, there's a tag team, and then off of whoever comes out and goes, well, he doesn't have a partner, so triple threat match. It's like now you have to look at him and see if he was gonna come at you. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. Speaking of him, I mean, he's a good guy. He just, he's given me some fits in the past few months. Last month, Battlefield, he, hit me with a bag in the chair. Then I guess we're partners now, so whatever. I mean, I'll take it. But, like I said, triple threat, singles match, 2-on-1. I'm down for whatever.
Just remember, Terry, you got to keep your head on a swivel.
I know. That's the thing about those triple threat matches, man. You got to watch your back because you really don't know who's going, where somebody's going to come from. And, I know I got to keep my head on a swivel and make sure I'm watching myself, especially because the RJ hit me in the back with a chair.
I'll be there ringside, so I'll be like, Terry, watch out.
Yeah, you be my eyes and ears, Joe.
Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you. I'll be your my hero in the manager world is Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'll be your Bobby.
Nah, I'll make sure to listen out for you too.
Terry, careful. I'm always yelling or make, oh my God, like the loudest moves in the crowd.
Yeah.
Being a commentator, I'm always being on a microphone. My voice carries a lot. So, yeah.
No, make sure you yell loud because that Battlefield crowd goes crazy. So
I know. We told before we were recording, this is my first ever Battlefield show. So someone like me and anybody, my fans that are watching, like, to give them an idea about a Battlefield crowd and a Battlefield show, what is the crowd? What is it like? What is it? What makes you want to come to a Battlefield show?
Well, a part of a live experience certainly is the crowd, and the Battlefield crowd, from the opening bell to the closing bell, they're loud. They are in a good way. They're, obnoxious in a good way. I mean, they're always amped up. The energy is electric. The atmosphere is, always hype. It's always high. So you definitely got to be prepared to, one, as a Battlefield fan, lose your voice because you're going to be screaming and shouting the whole night. But, it's a crowd that there's a reason they keep coming back. And there's a reason that they're, huge fans with us. And, like I said, it's just a very energetic crowd. So you just got to be ready. If you're going to be a part of the Battlefield crowd, you got to understand that it's going to be loud. You're not going to be able to hear yourself, and it's going to be vibrant and exciting the whole night. So just be prepared for that, Joe.
Awesome. I will. I'm ready to rock. I can't wait. My Papa Panther, my dad, son of Panther. That's my dad. Panther's second. He is like so excited, he's amped and he can't wait. He's ready to say hi and make bump his shoulders and tell everybody about this awesome experience. And I told him, he's like, wow, okay. And he's like, ever been to these shows? No, Dad, but we're ready. We're ready.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. I believe after this you're gonna understand why Battlefield has the rep it does. So I'm excited to see you come out.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not too hot that day because how Mother Nature is. One day it's freezing cold, and then it's like
yeah. No, and we feel it in the ring too. Sometimes when if it gets hot in there, we feel it in the ring too. But it's gonna be fun, like I said.
And it's also a rumble that day. So like, I know you said you don't know, but like, for being a wrestler, and then if it's a rumble, like what goes through your mind when it comes to a rumble? Do you just go in there just going, okay, rumble, I just need to look around and make sure nobody throws me out? Like, how do you process yourself for a rumble?
It's one of those things where it's kind of just about survival, knowing the idea is do over top rope. just kind of, find ways to avoid situations like that. Don't lean on the ropes, don't get on the top rope. I probably shouldn't be giving out some of these
Oh no.
rumble tips, but try not to be on the top rope, try and just stay away from the ropes, also just try and keep yourself away from the attention, try and just kind of stay in a corner, pick your spots. There's going to be opportunities where someone's going to slip up and they're going to lean on the rope, or they're going to try and take a break, and that's when you chuck them out. You just got to really pick your spots in those kind of matches. And like you said earlier about like the triple threat situation, you always got to watch your back, because there's chaos, there's everyone who's just trying to get their shine, trying to get into the spotlight, trying to win, trying to be number one. So you got to definitely watch your back and look over your shoulder every few moments.
And also, like, you could always do like Hornswoggle and go under the ring.
Yeah,
you can put a hoodie on and then just pretend like you didn't come in and just go under the ring and just chill. Get a bag of chips. Get like a soda.
I don't know if my big ass can really. I don't know if I can get under the ring and people not notice me. Hornswoggle was, he was a small dude, so it's kind of different for him. But I don't know if I can pull that off without.
That's loud under there, man. I don't know how anybody would hide under a ring like that pad and everything. Oh my god, it'll be loud. Yeah. Like, I've seen under the ring. Like, it's unless you're not like, you're a big. How tall would you say you are? I'm 5'1", so how tall are you?
About 6'5".
Okay, yeah, you probably would have to like really crouch under that ring. So like,
yeah, I try to stay from underneath the ring. No, because certainly those metal bars, I try to stay from underneath that. Try and stay above the ring, something like that. So you'll never catch me under the ring.
Yeah, I don't know. Go in, put the hood on, get the big glasses on, the big mustache, be like, I don't know. This guy is supposed to be here. Don't know where he went. Your entry spot passes. You're like, man, no. Have a friend say they're you.
Yeah.
What, like, since like being a wrestler like you are, do you have like a certain like meal plan you do for yourself as a wrestler?
So it usually just depends. I mean, for the most part, I don't really meal prep anymore. I usually just I'm just calorie deficient. But like for like matches, match week, I always usually try and prep something pretty basic, but it'd be like a chicken, rice, broccoli. I always try and just make sure I watch what I eat, especially on those match weeks, just because you want to be in the best shape, you want to be in the best condition, look wise, feel wise internally. For those matches. So it really just all depends. I mean, for the most part, I'm not really like a meal prepper. Just throughout the day, I'll know, hey, I'll eat this, avoid this, and this. Like I said, it's very calorie deficient. Just make sure I watch what I eat in terms of my intake.
Yeah. So the day of a show, do you have like a certain, like, I know wrestlers, sometimes they take their food, like their lunch, and they'll eat it and they'll save it for like a dinner after the match.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that, or do you ever do you just eat whatever you find at the shows?
Nah, for the most part, definitely on show days, I definitely eat a little less. I'm definitely more in hydration, just because conditioning and ring cardio is very important, especially in this world. So I'll probably, wake up, have a shake. That'll probably be, my breakfast, in the morning before I go. I try not to eat a few hours before the show, just because, one, I'm definitely afraid of, being out there and throwing up or something like that if I eat. And two, I just feel like if I eat, I get a little bloated, and then I won't feel the best. So I feel like I won't look the best. So I definitely try and make sure hours before the show, that's when I eat. And then of course, after the show, when the match is done and, I leave the building, then I'll find a meal for dinner, find a meal for the night.
Do you, like, since I always like to support my local business, where would you say you would be your spot that you go to after a show? Like what, like restaurant? It could be a McDonald's. You don't have to not exclude the McDonald's or the Burger Kings. Like, what's your spot that you like to go to?
I guess a place that I found myself after a show. So I live in the city of Easton, in downtown. There's a bar called Pints and Pies. Best dirty wings probably ever had. Definitely after a show. If I'm not too beat up, I'll go down there, get some dirty wings, maybe get a beer or something like that, hang out with some friends, something like that. So that's definitely the spot. If I do need to eat something, I go down there. It's right down the street. I get the walk. And like I said, it's really good, and especially the Dirty Wings. So that's definitely
Dirty Wings. Never heard of that one.
Dirty Wings. I think they're like I'm not sure what this like. They're definitely seasoned and sauced up, but they're yeah. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but they call them Dirty Wings, and they're really good. So that's all that matters to me.
Here we go. I've asked this to other wrestlers in England and some parts of the States. If the bar knew about you and they knew you were a wrestler, what would be the Terry meal? What would you get? Would be the drink that came with the combo, like the McDonald's? What would be your meal?
I call it the thoroughbred burger, right? It's gonna be a nice, juicy patty, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, barbecue, bacon, cheese, whatever cheese you want. You can do American cheese, you can do provolone, whatever cheese you want. Nice set of fries, seasoned fries, and the drink is of your choice. But that burger especially, that's the one right there. That's the one. Thoroughbred burger. And I might have to keep that one in mind.
I always love to ask wrestlers that. I had one female wrestler, she's from England. She said she would have like a pizza that has like, and she's one of these tougher wrestlers. She's like a Viking character. So she said chicken, bacon, ham on there. Oh my God. I was like, I grew up in New York, and my head, she's like, did you freeze, Joe? And I was like, oh, that's like, and then she said something that every New Yorker goes, no. She said pineapple. I'm just like,
pineapple on pizza is a sin.
Yeah, I was like, girl, no.
It's a sin. Nobody
but
should
she's
be doing
tough.
that.
I don't know. She's a Viking character. I'd be scared because she looked like she could take out half the roster. I was like, she could be in the Rumble. Damn.
Hey, you never know who's gonna show up. You never know. It's one thing about Alpha. We definitely love surprises. So you never know who's gonna show up.
You know, I love a big surprise in the Rumble. Like, as a kid, do you remember watching the Royal Rumbles? And like, if you did, like, what would you say would be like your favorite Rumble of all time?
My favorite Rumble of all time, actually, just in terms of mentioning it, it's definitely a 2004 Rumble. It's one of those Rumbles that has always resonated with me. It was right in Philadelphia. I remember it like it was yesterday. Mick Foley coming out as a surprise entrant to eliminate Randy Orton. That was, one of the great moments. So it's definitely my number one favorite Royal Rumble match, that 2004. It's one that, especially during Rumble season and like WrestleMania season, is one that I make sure I always just watch once a year, just because it's the nostalgic, the energy, the atmosphere that was in that arena that night. It was amazing.
I have to say my favorite Rumble is when John Cena returned.
2008.
Yep, 2008.
Yeah, that was one of those big glory moments. Yeah, I remember that. I remember because I think at the time he was still hurt, right? And he just kind of showed up, right?
I think he hurt his chest plate, right?
I think it was a pectoral. Yeah, pectoral.
Or was it the nose? I remember my dad's like, oh, something about the nose, and then he sent me the picture like a few months later of Cena's nose over here, and I was like, no, bad flashback, Dad. No, Papa Panther, why? He had to say. He heard me. I was like, oh man, no. He's like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, he's like, you said wrestling's not real, Dad. And he's like, I never said that. I never said that. Even in front of his dad, you could not say the F word. You could not say the word that's dreaded in every wrestling family's house.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Have you ever like been out with friends and there's that one person that in the crowd that sees you, that's friends with your friends, but doesn't really watch what you do and say, oh, what do you think about this? Like, have you ever had somebody approach you that knows you're a wrestler and kind of try to ask you that question?
Yeah, like, as I got older, I actually began to realize there's a lot more people that are fans and respect our business more than I realized when I was younger. So, especially nowadays, now that I'm a wrestler, most people, when they see me, they just, they say like, oh, dude, like, it's so cool what you do. And they bring back times when they were fans. But for the most part, most of the people know, they know the real risk of what we do, and the training that we put our bodies through. So although there's some people that might not fully understand it, I've come to realize there's a lot of people that respect it. Like, they respect the idea of the entertainment in terms of us, putting our bodies on the line and throwing each other around, and the real injuries that can occur. So it's nice to know that there's people that just respect our business. Even if you're not a fan, you just respect it. You understand what we're doing. You understand why we have such a passion and a love for it. So that's always nice to see, and it's something I usually end up seeing more often from a lot of people these days.
Yeah, it's nice to know that there's people out there that give you guys the props, like I do, and I bring you on the shows. Us podcasters bring you guys on to the shows like this that try to give you guys a spotlight.
Right.
So, if my fans want to pick up any kind of merch, anything of yours, how can they find it? If you have any merch you want to.
Well, first and foremost, if you are in the area, the Pocono area, if you would like to buy a shirt, you can come to Battlefield Pro Wrestling this Sunday. I'm selling t-shirts there. Of course, you can find me directly on Instagram. You can DM me. I also have a link tree on Instagram with a website to all my shirts, so you can go on that. And yeah, I mean, you really just got to reach out if you like a shirt. But yeah, certainly just that. Just reach out, contact me, find me on Instagram at Thoroughbred Terry, and we'll get you a shirt. We'll get you some Thoroughbred merch.
Awesome. Before we go, definitely, if the fans want to buy tickets for the show and they want to get tickets for the Rumble this week, the 29th, what's the website that they can get their tickets from?
So you can go on the We Are Battlefield page, which is on Instagram, literally the We Are Battlefield page. You can contact them directly. If you want to buy tickets for the show, like say you're far out, you can definitely reserve tickets. Write your name down. Hey, we'll have this tickets reserved for you. You can pay there, and then you can come to the door and pick up your tickets. So it's definitely that. And of course, you can come by at the door. But if you would like to buy before the show, you go to the We Are Battlefield page, contact them directly, let them know, hey, I want tickets to the show. I think there also might be a link on their page to directly buy tickets. But if not, I know for sure, you DM them, you contact them, they will certainly get you the tickets that you want.
Awesome. Before we go, if there's any kids that are just getting into the business and they're still on the fence about it, and they're happy to do this wrestling thing, but they're scared because they're kids. Like, they're scared. They want to do this, but they're really nervous.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you have for them?
Just go where your desire is. Go where your passion is. If wrestling's something that you certainly want to do, if it's something that you've watched as a kid and you've always thought, hey, it's something that I could do, that I can thrive in, go for it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be something that's easy. But I've come to learn that, especially in this business, you are driven by your passion and how well you want to do. So just go for it. And that's not even just a wrestling thing. That's a life thing. Just go for it. Shoot for the stars, and always continue to thrive and prosper. And that's always worked out well for me. So that's always the advice I give to people.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for helping me open Battlefield Rumble Week.
Thank you.
I'm Joe Panther III.
The great Joe. I'm Terry the Adonis.
And we will catch you in the next one. See you Sunday.